I gotta get my life together.
Oh, yeah. Before that kid comes and rips it apart again.
Oh, God, I'm panicking.
Kids ruin everything. I'll tell you that right now. They ruin everything. But there's some good stuff, too. You know, like they can do the dishes and mow the lawn and the laundry once you get them all trained.
Yeah, in 16 years.
Well, you know, it's worth it after a while.
It's amazing that we reached the top of the food chain and all the things babies don't know how to do.
Oh, hold on. Oh, my daughter. Speaking of kids ruining everything, I got to run downstairs. She's coming home from school and she forgot her keys. All right. Kids are fucking awesome.
If it was illegal to say stupid things into a microphone,
why must you be so stupid?
these guys would be doing life without parole.
Hey, everybody, we're back from prison.
Why do we keep encouraging this kind of behavior? It's the Breaking the Ice podcast with Josh Dolan.
You know, we could, go to jail for this.
Along with Mike Shue and Isaiah Moskahana Bonsa Monablitz Boskowitz, whatever the hell his name is.
All right, I just left the door unlocked. I mean, what could happen? It's just Worcester.
I know, it's just Worcester, and when you first logged in, I thought that was a Yankees hat.
Oh, come on now. Worcester Bravehearts.
Worcester Bravehearts.
Yeah, that's their Can-Am League. It's kind of like the Cape League. And that was the baseball team in this town for a long time until the Woo Sox barged in with their big giant stadium and their state-of-the-art concession stands.
I know, they think they got money behind them or something.
Whatever.
It's annoying. What I just saw a documentary. Well, I guess not just, wouldn't be the right word. It was like a year ago. It was about a minor league baseball team, and it was owned by Kurt Russell.
The guy who played Jack Burton in Big Trouble in Little China. The guy who plays the new Santa Claus?
Yes, Santa.
Okay. Yeah.
Not Tim Allen.
All right.
The real Santa.
Santa's your kitty's name.
It's also my cat's name. No, it was actually owned by Kurt Russell's dad, and Kurt Russell was on the team.
Oh, was it a Portland team?
Yes, the Portland.
Was it like the something bastards of
basketball?
Yes. Yeah, what is that? Jerry Callahan told me to watch that.
Oh, it was so good. And I'm not like a big baseball person, and I loved it. It was like a team full of Bill Lees.
Right? Yeah.
And I think they came close to winning the championship in their first year, and that was like their only year.
Yeah, they were like the Johnstown Chiefs of baseball.
Yes.
Right?
Dude, were you getting excited for Polar Park? I'm seeing all kinds of stuff on their social media.
Why? What's that?
Just open Polar Park in Worcester. Baseball? Woo Sox?
Not ringing a bell.
I don't know.
You're fucking so high.
Yeah, that's probably the problem.
It's not a problem at all, actually.
We're ready for Polar Park. Our studios are being constructed as we speak. There are engineers down there putting a studio together, which I hope to broadcast at many times. Their food vendors are going to be amazing because they're Worcester. Most of them are Worcester food vendors. So you got like the Wonder Bar and Coney Island hot dogs and all these places. Wormtown Brewery is going to be in there. Wachusett's going to be. It's going to be.
You tried to take me to Coney Island one time. I think I crashed at your house, but they were like closed on Tuesday. Like, dude, we have to go here, and I was excited. Yeah. Like, what are you doing closed? Fuck.
They've been closed on Tuesdays for 100 years.
You forgot that because you were so fucking high.
I know. I was probably drinking. You know,
with me. No.
Polar Park looks great. I mean, I could see the lights. Like if I just drive down the street here, I can see the lights.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. So
now, are they going to have concerts there?
I don't know. You know, they had concerts at what was it, McCoy Stadium in Pawtucket? Like Bob Dylan played there.
Wow.
Really?
And that was just like a few years ago. So, you know, I hope that they continue that. They're going to use it for stuff. Like I think when all the whenever the high schools are done and the seniors graduate, they're going to use it for graduation.
Oh, that's cool.
The weather's nice. Yeah.
I graduated in a field. Laura graduated at the SNU Arena, which was the Verizon Center back then. Not the Verizon in Manchester.
Center. Yeah.
I was just talking about that with my buddy Doc, who's up there, because the Monarchs haven't been up there in a number of years. I'm like, what are they doing with the I guess they call it the SNU Arena? What are they?
Yeah, they're still there.
The Monarchs are gone.
No, they're not. They're playing there.
Look it up.
Are they playing there at the SNU?
No, nothing's happening in there. That's what I was saying. Like, what are they doing with the building?
Days.
Oh yeah, right now because the COVID, but
right. But he said the Monarchs themselves are also gone from that town. They tried to bring in some other lower league and it failed.
Oh wow. Who were the Monarchs an affiliate of?
The Kings.
They're, the LA Kings, but the Monarchs left the AHL, but they're
still in that building?
Yeah, they play the Railers all the time.
Oh, so they're ECHL.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So they went to the ECHL. All right.
Yeah, Manchester Monarch ECH. So is the ECA? Is that below AHL?
Yeah, that's low. That's
Yes.
below AHL. That's East Coast Hockey League. That's the Railers.
That's like the Lowell Spinners.
Right.
The Lowell Spinners. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
What's up?
Hey, there he is. Long time no see, Jeff. Well, actually, I didn't see you yesterday. I just talked to you. Right.
We talked.
Yeah. We just talked, you guys. There was no hanky panky.
There was no eye contact, which means it's completely straight.
Right.
Listen, this is COVID.
Exactly. We didn't kiss or anything, so it was just business.
Cover your eyes, everybody. How you doing, Jeff?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
All right.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
See, you got your maps behind you, all in a bag or something. Those maps? Oh no, they're candles. I thought they were maps in a bag.
Oh.
You're like the Fonz. Wow. That's awesome.
That's witchcraft right there.
What is he in, like National Treasure or something, Josh? I've got the Declaration of Independence rolled up in my bureau behind me.
Yeah,
Can you do that? Can you do that trick again? Can you do that trick again? Now this one was better. Do this part.
Oh,
he's practicing that.
Jeez, I gotta get
Show's over.
Yeah,
show's over.
Thank you.
So last time we talked to you, it was about haunted stuff, and now Mike informed me, so I did my homework. The Call of Kilimanjaro. You climbed that mountain.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
I wrote a book about it.
That's
I don't know if you heard.
No,
you heard.
I was just gonna say you should write a book about doing it.
You know, that's a damn good idea.
And then you should go around and talk to people about it.
Yeah,
you guys are geniuses. Like,
well, we try.
You are amazing.
From what I want to hear from you though. What was the premise behind the book? Why did you go there? Why did you write the book? Give us the background on this. The Call of Kilimanjaro.
So it's one of those places that I've been thinking about a long time. I mean, ever since Toto's song Africa. I mean, I'll be honest, right? Like Kilimanjaro is mentioned in there way back in the 80s.
Please don't say that was why you climbed the mountain. Oh
nope.
My God. Okay.
No.
All right, good. All right.
No.
Did you listen to it while you were climbing?
I did listen to it on the mountain. I did. I had to.
That's a bucket list item. Yeah.
How could you not do that? I mean, I don't have superpowers, right? So I mean, I was a hiker in college. I'm amateur hiker, still like to do the White Mountains in New Hampshire and stuff like that. And even took Swahili in college, which is the language of East Africa, which is
Hakuna Matata.
And that's we had talked previously, and I was like, well, what college offers Swahili, and why would you even want to take that? It's like, I mean, am I just being ignorant, or is there a huge like Swahili speaking community where you live or where you were growing up or anything? It was just like, hey, Swahili, that's what Uhuru spoke in Star Trek. So
that's right. And Uhuru is a Swahili word that means freedom.
That's right. Yes.
There you go. So, it's, so my last name, Belanger, you guys being hockey fans know that just north, it would be Belanger. Right. And so I took French 1 in college and I failed because the teacher was evil. And she's like, you should be fluent. And I was like,
you're lucky I'm here.
But it's French. It's like Chinese.
My great grandparents changed the name from Belanger to Belanger, maybe even before that. I don't know. Like, right. Like we've been here for generations. So long, it's not even Belanger anymore. So she failed me. And so I took Spanish and I barely passed that. And a friend was like, take Swahili. The professor's amazing. And you won't confuse it with French or Spanish. She was right.
No kidding. Right? And you use it every day.
Every day that I watch Lion King with my daughter, I've used Swahili. Hakuna Matata, my friends. Rafiki, yeah, for sure. Yeah, like half the characters in that movie, that's all Swahili words. So it's one of those things, like it just kept coming up, and I wanted to do it. Like, it's the tallest mountain in Africa. It's one of the 7 summits, and you don't need technical climbing to do it. So it's not like hanging from ropes and hammering in, spikes and stuff like that. It's if you can walk up Mount Washington, if you can walk up Mount Monadnock, you can walk up Kilimanjaro. It's just,
I have a feeling that's not really the case. Like if I walk up Mount Monadnock, and I get like a cooler with some beers in it and stuff, I don't think I can just park at the parking area and just walk up Kilimanjaro. I mean, that's what, 20,000 feet?
19,341, but who's counting?
Not really. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But when you do get to the top, how's the gift shop? Do you have a bumper sticker that says you?
Yeah, this car climbed Kilimanjaro. I didn't see a single one.
Don't put that on your car. Don't. You got, if you're watching this, you got to go to jeffbelanger.com. There's all kinds of pictures. You're exactly right. There it is, 19,341. There's great pictures on this site of you at the top, which is pretty cool. How long did that take?
So 6 days to get to the top, 2 days to get back down. And we got
you roll down the hill faster.
Yeah, it's pretty easy once you get momentum. There's like 4 different ways to get up, but only one way down. And so if people are injured or whatever, they don't want traffic going 2 ways. A lot of people do this. I mean, it's not like, it's not just a few of us. I mean, I think it's somewhere between 15 and 20,000 people a year on average, not COVID years, attempt it.
That just convinced me not to go. The last time I hiked a mountain, Mount Monadnock, there was a line to get to the top of the mountain. I was like, I came here to go away from people in the woods, and I'm standing in line.
You know what's crazy about Monadnock, which is just on the southern part of New Hampshire? It's a great mountain. It's the 2nd most climbed mountain in the world.
It was that
world?
Day.
In the
Really?
world. In the world. Number 1 is Fuji in Japan.
Wow.
So
how do you go from Fuji to Monadnock?
I've climbed Fuji, actually.
have you really?
Well, okay, I went halfway. But still, it was really nice.
You weren't even there.
No,
Actually, he just bought Fuji water at Price Chopper.
They told me it was Mount Fuji. I was like, well, I didn't know that was in Vermont, but cool.
Right, makes sense.
Wow, I can't believe that many people attempt something like that a year. It just seems like that's, to me, it's so far removed from like my life, like what I could possibly, I think it is. Like, to me, that's like going into space.
Right.
Like maybe 5 people get to do it, in a decade or something like that.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things. Like, I mean, I get it doesn't call to every person, but also, I mean, I was in my 40s, like I'm still in my 40s, and life sort of gets to be a rut. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have a cool job. It's not I'm working on an assembly line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's someone in camera there.
That's my daughter.
My daughter loves to, every time we're on, she just loves to jump right in.
She just went back to school today, like physically went back to school. So she's
good.
Happy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, mine goes back in like 2 weeks, I guess, 3 weeks. Yeah. It's coming up soon. So yeah. No, we're all thrilled.
And
but
Josh's arrives in May.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she goes back to school in 5 years.
Yeah.
We're hoping by then COVID is under control.
We're hoping.
Anything's possible. Dream big, guys. Dream big.
Jesus, right?
Right.
So you're saying that climbing Kilimanjaro, one of the what did you call it? One of the 7 peaks, right?
There's the tallest mountain on each continent. That's Africa. Yep.
Okay, so that's like walking up Mount Monadnock.
Well, times it's a lot taller, of course, but
right.
plus 5.5 more days.
Yeah, right. Kind of like that. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it's just a test of endurance, and you can always build up endurance in anything. I mean, any form of punishment, you can get used to it.
Right.
So,
why did you? So was this like a bucket list thing you said, or why did you choose Kilimanjaro?
Yeah. So
I know in the book there's a couple of reasons why.
Yeah. So the big one. So the reason that moment that I chose to do it was just a couple of years earlier, I had lost my brother-in-law to cancer, and he was 44 when he was diagnosed, and it came out of nowhere. Like, he was just having some health problems, and he got some more tests, and the doctor calls him one day, 44 years old, and says, get down here right now. Don't make an appointment. Don't wait for your workday to end. Just come here this minute. And when he gets there, the doctor tells him, you've got tumors, stage 4, metastasized everywhere. You've got 18 to 24 months to live.
Wow.
And we were just like, what? You know, my nephew was 3 years old at the time. And suddenly you're just like, I mean, this is a death sentence. You know, chemo and radiation might get you to the end of that 2 years, but that's about it. Like, you don't expect to be cured. And he went into a depression, and he and I got a lot closer because of my weird paranormal job, working in death and ghosts and all that other stuff.
Cool, not weird.
Well, it's weird too, but like, you know,
cool and weird.
I mean, that's pretty weird, man.
It's weird.
Yep.
So he and I got a lot closer because he could talk about death and dying with me. And I was far enough removed. And my sister kind of checked out at this point. Like, she was like, what do I do about my son? We're going to fight this thing. It's going to be okay. And so she was sort of in denial, but he could talk to me, and we got really close. And by the time he was in his final days, you know, I mean, he was having these out of body experiences that he couldn't talk about with anyone else but me. And he was seeing things. He was just having these profound experiences. And it was an incredible conversation that I had with him on the very last day. Just 3 hours we talked about how he saw his cat from childhood when he was out of his body, and he didn't like the cat, but he saw his grandma, you know, and he was close with grandma. Just these big experiences. And when he died, like, when you lose someone close to you like that, when you lose family, you can't help but sort of feel your own mortality and be like, man, life's short. Like, I think I'm in my midlife in my 40s. I hope, but he thought that too. And so just like 6-7 months later, I was doing an event, and a friend from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society said, hey, we got a big fundraiser coming up, Jeff. You want to get involved? And I was like, oh, I'll help if I can. I've done stuff for them before. She's like, we're going to climb Kilimanjaro. And I was just like, raise money for cancer research, cross a big item off my bucket list at a time in my life. I'm just a couple years younger than Chris was, my brother-in-law, when he was diagnosed. And I was just like, I didn't even know how to say no to that. I'm just like, yep, this is happening, and this is happening right now. Yep. So
a portion of the proceeds from this book go to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, correct?
Yeah. So when I was raising money for them, my goal was $19,341 a dollar for every foot. And I made it just north of 17,000. Nice. And so I feel like that was the last bit of unfinished business, is to still hit that goal. So yeah, I'm going to donate a portion of the proceeds, and at least till I get there. And I'm sure beyond. We'll see. You never know. Sometimes books, you hope that they're going to sell millions of copies, but man, I'm not rich yet, and I've written like 16 of them, which must mean I'm just a glutton for punishment.
This is the 16th book.
This is my 16th book. Yeah.
And that's it. Lucky 16. And you're on this podcast, so at least you'll get one sale from this, at least.
Yeah, at least one. Thank you, Josh.
Where are you getting Lucky 16 from? Is that
I'm making shit up?
Oh,
yeah,
all right. Okay.
That's fair.
All right. Because I was like,
I want him to feel good about it. I want it to go over it. And Josh is now going to buy 2 books, and so are you. So shut
exactly.
it.
Dude climbed a mountain. Okay. How can he not feel good about himself?
I know.
I'm pretty good about myself. I'll tell you what, man, if you're ever feeling down about yourself, there's nothing like, you know, when your boss is chewing you out, you're like, well, I climbed Kilimanjaro. I don't know. Crap, right?
But then he says, can you spell Kilimanjaro?
Yeah.
Don't get tricky.
That's a tough one.
So how long did you have to train before going over there, and like what kind of things did you have to do? Is it just a matter of climbing smaller mountains, kind of like running road races before you do a marathon?
Pretty much, yeah. So it was about 6 or 7 months, and we were put together with 5. There were 5 of us from New England. None of us knew each other. All for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We had a coach, Sherpa Tom, who took us, like, just, you got to hike, and you got to have a pack on, and you got to carry weight. And so, I mean, even the Blue Hills of Boston, we would do, 5-6 miles on the Blue Hills on the weekend. We would do the White Mountains, and I'd never really hiked in the winter. So that was a new experience, is learning how to layer up, because on Kilimanjaro, the bottom, we're just below the equator. So it's always summer at the base, but then you get above the tree line at like 10,000 feet and it's like fall or early spring. And then when you get to the top, there's literally glaciers up there. It's an Arctic tundra. So you need like all 4 seasons are in the span of 6 days. And this is where coming from New England just comes in handy, because like we can do 4 seasons in like on a Tuesday, right?
Right.
Like, we got that, you know?
Yeah, like yesterday, it was 20 degrees in the morning and then 50 in the afternoon. And
Right.
Yeah.
I think it snowed too.
Yeah, that's yeah, there it is. I'm like, I've been preparing for this my whole life, right? So I got that part. So yeah, you hike a lot, and you learn. You got to learn stuff like when you bundle up your layers, you don't want to be warm when you start, because you want to be a little bit cold, because once you start moving, you're going to start sweating, and sweat is bad. You lose a lot of moisture because it's dry when it's cold, and so just stuff that you have to learn along the way. And so by the time we got there, I had got past that learning curve. But the other part was we had to camp on this. There was a camp in a tent, like camping in a tent.
Yeah,
which I hate it.
You hate camping.
I really hate camping.
Who likes to sleep on the ground?
No, yeah, and that's another thing too. I'm like, am I that soft? Like at this age. And yes, I am. And
you're not soft. It's just we invented the house. So
right. And the bed was,
and pillows and thermometers that turn the heat up. I mean, cut the shit.
Yeah, no, and so I get there the first night in the they had suggested that we had like this national coach that said you should try camping out in your backyard if you're not used to it. And I'm like, no way, that would kill me. Like if I'm in a tent and a sleeping bag and my nice bed is like 20 feet away. Yeah. Oh, heck no. No, I'm going to wait till this is the best option I have. Right. And I don't regret it. But at the same time, I remember unrolling this self-inflating sleeping pad, which was like 1 inch thick when it's inflated. Right. And I'm looking at that like, how are you going to keep 195 pounds of me off the dirt ground Kilimanjaro? And that night when I got into my sleeping bag, really great sleeping bag, my sister gave it to me for Christmas, 0 degree rated. It's like a parka around everything but your face. It was awesome.
You're swaddled.
Yeah, totally. So I lay down that night and I'm like, yeah, this thing isn't doing squat, right? Like it's not keeping any part of me off the ground. I don't even know if it matters that it's there. And sleeping on the ground just sucks. Straight up sucks.
Now, is there like marked areas along the way that you can sleep, or are you just like, you know what, I'm done walking, so I'm just going to set up right here?
Yeah, no, there were camps we had to make it to each day. Wait, we record these, right, for YouTube too, right?
Yes.
Let's screen share.
Oh yes, I forgot to make you a co-host.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah,
got some really great pictures in the book too.
Yeah, and I'll be happy to just show you. It's such a visual experience. So that's the other thing. I've been such a goal-oriented guy that I bought a good camera before I went there, because I was like, look, I want to get better about smelling the roses along the way and appreciating the journey. Because like I've done Mount Washington. I remember one time I had a conference and I got up there really early and I bolted up the hill in like 3 hours up and 2 hours down. And I mean, I could hardly walk for 2 days after that.
Right.
And it was
all right, I think I just made you a co-host.
You did. It was it was rough. So when we get to the camps, like, so this is the very first one. This is called Mti Mkubwa. And it's just, these are the destinations each day, and these are our camps. It's just a tent, two to a tent. That's it.
There it is.
That's home. That's home.
Cool.
That's home.
What is the coldest at the top?
So I would guess, I mean, I didn't have an accurate reading, but I mean, I've been in 0 degrees in New Hampshire in June. I mean, in January and February.
Right.
And I would say with the wind chill, we were at least at 20 or 30 below on the night we went for the summit.
Yeah.
Because it was, I mean, that was as cold as I've ever been. Plus I wasn't getting enough oxygen, which actually added quite a bit to the experience. So yeah. But yeah, that's what a camp looks like.
Were there other groups besides yours that were going up also? Like, did you have to kind of wait for them to go, or did you all just kind of go up at the same time?
So we took the Lamosha route, which is the longest way. You come up the western side of the mountain, and then you kind of circumvent below the summit, and then make for the summit up from the east. And so for the first like 4 or 5 days, we didn't see any other groups. It was just our group. Once we got closer to the summit, then at the camp, there would be like 2 groups or 3 groups.
Oh, okay.
And on the night of the summit, I think there were 3 different groups going for the summit. And we just kind of spaced out about 45 minutes each. So the first group. I think we were the last. We were the last one to go up, and it was wild because it's so pitch dark, and all you have are headlamps at that point. So you see this like little centipede of light way ahead of you, and that's another group, and then you're your own little centipede of light, and that's our group. And so yeah, it's not like you had to wait in line like at Monadnock or even Everest for that matter, right? But yeah, it's you know, there was room. There was room for all of us for sure. It wasn't crowded.
Wow.
Now, was there any like animals that you had to watch out for, or like the whole time I'm thinking like snakes? Like I don't know what kind of snakes Africa has, but that would just be a big reason why I wouldn't go, and the people. But the
Josh doesn't like snakes.
there we
Oh
go.
my God.
I thought about snakes, yeah, but so as we were only down in the rainforest, we're walking along and we're getting, you know, through this the very easy part of the trail on the first day, and one of our guides is like, "Oh, look up ahead," and we look in the tree, and there's monkeys. Right, we see these monkeys. There's blue monkeys, and there's this white colobus monkey, which looks like a skunk. Right,
Oh
big
my
white
God.
tail, black body, and like they're all over these trees. And I had to remind myself. I mean, I've seen monkeys in zoos, but this is their world, right?
We're in their yard now.
Yeah. They're looking at us like, look at them. And I'm like, if they want to jump on our face and literally tear it off, they can.
There's nothing stopping you because
their prerogative. Yeah.
You're in their house now. Yeah.
Also, those animals can probably undo zippers. So
Yep.
At our first camp, we were there, and these guys are singing in Swahili. It was amazing. And at one point, we see one of these black and white monkeys trotting into camp, and all of us Americans are like, "Look how cute!" And the guides already know, and they're sprinting for the thing. And he takes a whole loaf of bread, like Wonder Bread, and just trots into the woods, just like, "Thank you," you know, like just. And it's too late. It's gone
out here, dummy. Thanks a lot.
Whole loaf of bread into the woods, and it was gone forever.
I thought you were going to say the monkey started singing in Swahili too, and I was going to be like, "Oh my God!"
Well, after we ate the mushrooms, they did all kinds of things.
Oh my God,
right?
yes,
It was like, whoa.
You forgot to mention that.
Oh,
Is that in the open cover? I climbed this mountain on mushrooms. You should have. Yeah. No.
We left it out in the edit.
Good. You've got to if you're watching
funny.
this, you got to go to jeffbelanger.com. It's the Call of Kilimanjaro, finding hope above the clouds. Really cool picture. These are really cool pictures.
Yeah, no, it was you know, that was such a part of the experience for me. And I don't consider myself a shutterbug, but when you're in a place that beautiful, I mean, everything is just this majestic sight, you know, like you're above the clouds. The clouds are below you pretty much most of the time. And so these sunrises and these sunsets are just, you know, take your breath away. You know, the cloud moves just a little bit and the sun hits the peak and you're like, oh, look at that. And there's nothing to do all day. I mean, there's no cell signals. There's no, you know, Wi-Fi, no nothing. It's just walk and eat and get to the next camp.
Wait, you're not up on Kilimanjaro watching Netflix?
No, not a Netflix to be had. It was
weird.
Just you just get broken down to like, you know, I was thinking about zombie shows and movies, right? Like I love them. And I think one of the reasons they resonate with people is because life is so simple when it's the zombie apocalypse. You find shelter, eat, defend yourself, sleep, survive till tomorrow.
No deadlines.
Yeah.
You know?
There's no meetings. There's no Zooms.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah. And it sort of felt like broken down into this really simple life of just get up and get to the next camp and walk and do what humans do. It was the best part was like getting so unplugged and realizing after a few days, like not worrying so much about like what work I'm missing or emails or voicemails or any of that stuff. Just like, it'll be there. And when I get back.
Yeah. I got to survive this.
Right. I'm trying not to die today.
Yeah.
Right.
So now, see, like pictures like this, I feel like this is like what I need. Like I would love to go on a hike like this. Me and my wife, when we first started dating, she was a huge hiker. We would go on hikes all the time. And then after like the third mountain, like Mount Major, Mount Cardigan, all those New Hampshire ones. And then after a while, I was like, I kind of don't want to do this anymore because it's just the same view and I'm exhausted. And I'm more of an ocean person. Yeah. But like these views, it's not like getting to the top of Mount Wachusett and being like, oh, look, there's Leominster.
Right.
It's
yeah.
Right.
Look at that. You're above the clouds.
That's amazing, that view.
That's an actual view.
Yeah. And so, you just get up there. And the other thing too is, when you get to like 12,000, 13,000 feet, there's no animals at all. You don't have to worry about bugs or anything. They're not up there. There's nothing for them. But like I saw these little pink flowers that just survived in this really harsh environment. And you're thinking like, man, it takes grit to be up here. It takes grit to survive here. And then I started thinking about myself. I'm like, wait, it takes grit for me to be here. Grit that I haven't like when you're 20 and you're just trying to struggle to like pay your rent and find a job and sleep on a friend's couch, like, you've got grit. You need it to get established. But then by your 40s, everything's comfortable. The friends that annoy you, you've mostly pushed them away, hopefully. Or you started a podcast with them, whatever, and then, it's just, your life's so comfortable and it's a rut and you got to shake things up. And I was like, man, I'm up here, the top of Africa, and I still have that grit. And that was pretty rewarding to sort of discover that.
Meanwhile, over here, I'm like putting peanut butter on chocolate chip cookies for breakfast.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
That in and of itself is grit. If you think about it, Mike, that's grit.
Well, yeah, I guess it's gritty. Yeah.
Gritty.
Definitely if you do it without water.
What did you eat up there?
We ate pretty well. So we had a whole army of people, literally 48 people.
Oh my God.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Yeah, that's the whole group. 48 guides, porters, like that carried the tents, the food, a lot of rice, a lot of pasta, soups, a lot of plantains, which they eat them green over there. So when you cut them up, it tastes exactly like a potato. Like I couldn't tell the difference between a very green plantain and a potato.
Potato flavored banana.
That's pretty much. And we had chicken. They like to cook their chicken well done over there, so it's almost like jerky. Which I got a taste for it. I'm like, every now and then I'll throw a piece on the grill and just leave it, and be like, all right, African chicken. So,
I do that too, but that's called forgetting.
Yeah.
My wife's like, is something on the grill? I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just so cool. And these guys would like sing in Swahili and you'd hear the words and I got to use it again, which was really cool. You guys, you should learn a little Swahili. Are you ready for this?
Do it. Let's go.
Okay. So, I mean, Hujambo is the formal hello. Hakuna Matata, you already know from Lion King, which means no worries.
That's actually Swahili.
It really is
legitimately something they were just making up for the movie.
Nope, that's Swahili.
Wow. Holy shit.
The Lion King is real, man. Come on.
It's total Simba. Simba means lion in Swahili, right? Like
pole means slow. Pole.
Pole. But so the word taco, right? So we were there and they're like, taco, like you eat a taco. In Swahili, spelled with a K, it means your butt, which we thought was just the funniest thing ever, like when you fall on your taco. But then there's one other Swahili word you guys must know. Have you ever been to a Jamba Juice?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God, don't tell me Jamba means pee.
No, it does not mean pee in Swahili. It doesn't. Good news. Okay,
good.
It means fart.
No.
Swear to God.
Wow.
Oh my God. Fart juice.
Fart juice. Jamba juice. And so like,
why didn't anybody figure this out yet? They're a chain.
And the funny thing is, like, a lot of people speak Swahili. It's not like some obscure. I mean, there's millions and millions that speak it, and those folks travel. So they were telling us, when our friends from Tanzania come to the United States and they see Jamba Juice in the airport, they're like, "No, thank you. No, thank you."
Juice.
Fart juice.
That's hilarious. That's like
that was done on purpose.
That's like those places in like Japan or like you see like the title of something and you're like, what? Fart juice? And then we're over here like, let's go to Jamba Juice. What idiots.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would they? Oh my God.
I don't know. Someone didn't ask.
Yeah. So, nobody screened that one.
Yeah. So that one slipped through. So yeah, it was just so the food was pretty good. Bodily functions, that was tricky.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was going to be that guy to ask that. Did you have to dig a hole and and then especially when it got cold out? I mean, what were you doing then?
Hi, I'm Chris, owner of Garage Doors Plus. We specialize in custom garage doors, sales, service, and installation. So whatever you may be looking for, we can help. Financing is available, so if it's time to give your garage and home a lift, call us at Garage Doors Plus, 617-458-1148. You can also find us at gdplus.com. That's gdplus.com. Garage Doors Plus. We open doors when you can't.
Yeah. So in the beginning, when there's trees and stuff, it's pretty easy to find some privacy to do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Once you get further up, it gets tricky because like there's no more trees. There's nothing to hide behind except the occasional boulder. And and so you do what you got to do. If you got to dig a hole. If you got to go number 2, if you pee, you just pee. One of the girls in our group, the women all had shiwis. You heard of shiwis? It's a funnel, so women can.
Oh
pee.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually. Yeah. Is it like a Is it kind of like a laminated plastic kind of cardboard thing that you fold? It's like a little gutter you put in the front of the hoo-hoo.
That's the one. Or it's also called a go-girl.
For vagina, by the way.
Yes.
In front of the hoo-hoo.
Yeah, that is Swahili for right. Yeah. So
this is where we are, Jeff. This is where we are.
Yeah. Well, so one of the girls from the California group that was there, she's like, "Oh no, I think my shiwi malfunctioned. It's a funnel. Like it can't malfunction. It funnels.
You pee through it.
Yeah." And she's like, "I just spilled, pee in my underwear." And
okay,
like
you malfunctioned. The funnel's fine.
Just took it off and let it dry on her backpack, and you got to keep going because that's just how it goes. But
is that you behind a rock taking a dump? Is that what's happening?
That's the girl from California who peed in her underwear. Well, spilled the shiwi in her underwear.
I love how she's announcing it too. She's like, "I screwed this up."
Yeah, the shiwi, the green
shiwi malfunction. Yeah, for sure.
Shiwi malfunction.
Is that green thing in her hand the shiwi?
That's her underwear.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Huge. That's just basically a urinal.
No, that's her underwear. Yeah. So yeah, it was but the pride's gone. There's no pride. When you're
at
up there,
this point, you're like, screw it, let's go.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, Shu, lean against my back, and we'll just kind of like use gravity and both take a dump at the same time. It's cool.
Whatever works,
right?
Yeah, that sounds like some kind of hazing thing.
It's weird on your website, jeffbelanger.com. I don't see a picture of you doing that with any of those people. You left that out.
Well, I haven't made an update yet.
Come on, this book dropped March 9th. It's you have time to put these up on the site. Let's go.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking of saving it for the sequel, but you guys, you might be onto something. Maybe
I like the paperback edition.
Maybe you open the paperback. I found toilet paper.
Once this is made into a movie, it'll be in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. That's totally, yeah.
Go to jeffbelanger.com. You can buy the book, The Call of Kilimanjaro, Finding Hope Above the Clouds is cool. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble, do they still have actual locations?
Oh,
They
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not only that, I don't mean to brag, but I went to my local Barnes & Noble, and what you do is, like, if you're an author, you can like sign the books they have, and they put a sticker on it that says autographed copy.
Fancy.
The hope is like it'll sell better, and if you're walking by, it's worth going in. It also makes you feel a little bit like a big shot, unless your book is shelved where my book is shelved. I walked in and I said, "Hey, I'm looking for this book." I didn't announce that I was the guy yet, and they said, "Oh, it's over here." I mean, literally at your shoelace level. At this, like
in the corner.
way in the corner, and so like I almost wanted to get down on you'd have to like crawl like you're in the army, like on your belly, and there it is, right? All right. Like, whenever your ego starts to get the better of you, sometimes you just got to go to the bookstore and see your book, see where it's shelved, and go.
But isn't that like a whole thing too? Like the placement of. I was talking to one of my comedian friends that had written a book, and they were like, "I'm never doing it again." Like it was such a headache, like just getting it published and proofreading, and and then like just getting it in the stores. Like you have to like pay to have it placed in a certain place and to have like one copy propped up. And like I was like, I just thought they'd put the new ones out front.
No, that's all that stuff's paid for. So now physical bookstores aren't what they used to be. When I first started writing books, your publisher will pay for like to have you on a like the Halloween display or those end caps where they're all facing out. Like your publisher pays for all that stuff. Everything is at a premium. Unless you're like Stephen King or whatever, where you have a new book and everybody wants it, so they put it front and center. The rest of us got to just kind of hustle, and it's a hustle. But at the same time, like I don't know, with a book like this, it's something you just sort of believe in, and you feel like it'll pay off down the road. So I've been doing a lot of talks, a lot of virtual talks on it. I thought was to be in person by now, but what are you going to do? And but at the same time, it's this story that I believe in, that it's kind of like, I can't stress enough how I'm not some guru. I'm not some mountaineer. you know, like I just got myself in enough shape to do this. And I don't think it's that superhuman at all. I really think any one of you guys could absolutely do this if it called to you, if you wanted to.
Right.
You could do it. And
yeah.
that's the lesson, right? The lesson is that mountains get in our way sometimes through no fault of our own, and we got to deal with them, like whether it's finding a new job or, you know, getting over the death of a loved one or whatever, breakups. And then sometimes there's mountains that you really should put in your own way just to make sure you still got it, that you can still climb them. And if it's a literal mountain, great. I mean, how nice is that? Because you know what you got to do. But whatever that thing is, like that's the thing. We got to challenge ourselves in the middle of our lives here to remind ourselves we still have grit. We still have that you know, that thing we need inside to make great things happen.
To face down a monkey over a loaf of bread.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
To say, hey there, get your damn dirty paws off my bread, you ape. I just messed
To fight a typhoon over some Pepperidge Farms.
Right. But it's like, it's so, but you know, let's talk about the last, because it's always the last, what, like half mile or whatever.
Yeah, the last push.
That's
That's
climbing. Everyone talks about that last part of Everest when it's only like what, like 3 miles or something like that. And it's like it takes forever and it's the hardest thing. Like what was like the hardest part? What was the part that made you almost just say, fuck this, I'm going home?
So when we got to this picture here, for those who are watching, is this is Barafu Base Camp. That's 15,000 feet. And that's the last stop before you go for the summit.
Wow.
And we got here on the morning and then ate some lunch. We're going to eat dinner at like 4 and get to bed by like 4:30 because we have to wake up at 11 p.m. To start for the summit at midnight to get to the summit. It's going to take 8 hours to go the last 3 miles, 8 hours. And then you got to get down
3 miles in eight hours.
Wow.
That's slow going. So at 15,000 feet, standing perfectly still and relaxed, you can sort of catch your breath, but just walking 10 feet. The analogy I like to use is, you know, those little coffee stirrers at the diner that are straws, the thin, skinny ones. Breathe through just that, and then try to go for a jog, breathing with just that, and trying to get enough air. It's just you just can't get enough.
Yeah. I was reading the warnings about this mountain. It said if you have any lung trouble, like to not do it. And I have a lung that collapses, so I can't go.
Well, Josh, Jeff has asthma, and he did it.
Work through it, Alan.
Walk it off.
You know, just because
Take your one lung Billy and climb Kilimanjaro. Let's do the podcast from the top of that mountain.
Right.
Let's do that. I would do that.
I mean, why don't we, I think we should really start with Mount Chikora first, you know, something small, something walkable, maybe work our way to Mount Washington before we go jump up this thing. Holy shit.
Hey, how about the Copper Top Lounge at Wachusett Mountain? Let's just go there.
Yes.
And then we'll take the lift up to the top.
No, I appreciate, keep me in check. We'll start there.
Yeah.
Solid idea. Solid idea. So at night, you know, when we wake up, you know, we step out of the tent, and I mean, that's the city of Moshi, and that's from where we're standing. It looks like from an airplane, you know, and it's cold. It is really, really cold, frigid. Yeah. And I've got my layers on and I know what to do. And all we have are like these headlamps. That's the only, and so you can only see like this 3 or 4 foot glowing tan dirt around your feet. And you just start, right? It's slow going, one step at a time. But the difference between 15 and 16,000 feet is exponentially different than, say, 8 to 9,000 feet. Like, wow. It gets harder and harder. I mean, it's very clear the oxygen molecules are below you. And around 3 a.m., you know, it's just so dark and so cold. And I feel drunk, but not the fun drunk, just like completely not coordinated, you know, right. Just, like at one point I dropped a glove just to my foot and I bent over to pick it up and I stand back up and I was just like, I don't know if I can keep going. That just took everything out of me. Just I'm breathing as deep as I can. And I had a balaclava, which, you know, covers everything but your eyes. And I was warm, but then to get enough, I couldn't get enough air through the fabric. So I'd have to pull it down to breathe and then put it back up to be warm. And about 3 a.m., I mean, it was just like as dark and cold as I've ever been. But it was like, you know, at some point, like the inner dialogue in my head just sort of stopped. And that scared me because I've never had that stop in my life. You know, like
this doesn't sound
even
fun.
The voices in your head are tired.
Yeah, they were just like, we're checking out for right now. And I'm like, I've heard those voices for my whole life, and now they're quiet. What's going on? And just, I'm thinking of, we pass plaques where people have died. Like, there's markers, this in memory of so-and-so.
I don't want one of those. Thank you. I'll pass. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So it's sobering, and you're like, all right, people die up here from this altitude.
Did you see any frozen bodies? Just people mid-step?
No.
I hope they clean those up.
They do. On Everest, you stay. Everest, you die, you stay there forever. But on Kilimanjaro, they bring you down, and you get a proper burial, and then you get a plaque. If your friends come and leave
something out of it.
I like the if you go to jeffbelanger.com, you go to his Facebook page. I love the picture that's got the book superimposed, but that's like from way down at the bottom, way across like the land at the beginning of like a river. Is that like kind of like a here I am, and that's where we're going? That's a great shot. It's your cover shot of on your Facebook page.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That was maybe the second or third day. Like, everything was just such an incredible view, when you see this stuff.
But that's so badass, because you're like so far away, and you're like, all right, fuck it, we're doing this.
There's no choice. There's no right. I mean,
I feel like at that point you could be like, I can turn here now. I can stop here. And you start getting up above the clouds, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm basically shitting in a hole in the ground, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah, and if you fall, you're probably not getting up.
No.
I mean, if you had trouble lifting
you
your
couldn't pick a glove up.
Ground, if you because it's dark and there's nothing but rocks up there. I mean, look at this picture you got up there with the plaque. That guy probably tripped on one of those rocks and he just never got up.
Oh my God.
Actually, this guy was struck by lightning. I learned later.
Oh my God. You make it.
Oh, so enjoyable.
This sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So glad you did this and we can live through you, Jeff. Right. We really appreciate that.
I'll just read the book.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Josh, you mentioned Mount Major. We can stick to that level of kind of a light walk in the summertime.
Yeah. Well, so what year was this again?
This was 2017.
Okay. So because I know somebody is going to comment on social media with the pictures of the groups, and someone's going to say, "Good job social distancing."
Oh yeah, no, this was yeah, this was before.
Good job wearing your mask.
I am and how many people now when they post pictures, it's like they have to write, "This picture was taken pre-COVID." Cut the shit. Jesus Christ.
No. That's how it is.
I don't even think COVID would want to go up there.
No, there's no COVID at 15,000 feet. No.
I mean, actually, the guy that got struck by lightning, COVID death.
Yeah. Oh, see, he's just making the numbers go up.
Yeah.
So Jeff, this picture right here, how close were you to the top?
At this point, we're probably around 17,500 feet. And, this was like the darkest and coldest that we got, and just out of my head. Once we got closer to 18,000 feet, it's probably about 4:30 in the morning, and I turned around and I could see just this sliver of light on the horizon, right? It's just starting to glow, and you think like, all right, the sun's coming, and if I can just get to that, and every 20-30 minutes you turn around and it's just a little bit brighter, and then
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was incredible. Once it was about 6:30 in the morning, we got just to the rim of the volcano, and the sun had just broken up through the clouds, and it was
that looks like Mars.
I was just gonna say that. That's not even this planet.
It was life-changing. This was a moment. This was the big moment. This was something where the world had warmed up 15 degrees, 20 degrees easily. Once the sun was out, you could see. You didn't need your headlamp anymore. And just this sunrise, this simple thing of a sunrise was just changed everything. And I felt my brother-in-law. I really did. I felt like he was right there with me. And I felt this presence, this big, huge presence. The Maasai people who live around the mountain, the Chaga people, they have a word for the top that means the house of God, because they think only God is allowed up there and only those that God deems worthy. And it was this moment of just like, man, I'm worthy. Like, I'm worthy to be here. Even though it was another 500 vertical feet and another half mile to go, which would take like another hour. Like right here at this moment, I knew like I'm gonna make it. This is a done deal. I just have to finish it now. And I took this picture. I only half remember taking it, but it was on my camera when I got back. And I'm like,
the picture probably doesn't even do it justice what it looks like in real life. Like that view is worth it. Like I was saying, it kind of sucks when you get to the top of the mountain. You're like, there's this Sears Town Mall. Wow. But like, I mean, if Elon Musk saw that, he'd want to colonize that. It's
right. Yeah, it was surreal, man. It was absolutely surreal. I've had this made into postcards. I've given away thousands of them. I have prints of it. Like I have a print hanging in my house that I just look at it and almost every day, and I'm just like, oh, I remember that. Like that.
Now, are you looking back, or is that what you're looking forward to go to?
So we had just come up that way. That's east. So the summit's behind us, and this is just watching the sunrise. And then from there, it's just around the rim of the volcano. We see some of the glaciers that are still there, that are going to be gone in like another 10 years. And then finally, it's just this long straightaway, and you see this little sign in the distance, and all that's left is to just get to it and get your picture.
Did you know that Mike is going to be in a new metal band called Around the Rim of the Volcano?
No, but I'd like one of the shirts, one of the tour shirts.
Oh boy.
It sounded so good. I'm like, that's got to be a name of something, or a drink, like a drink at a Chinese restaurant, Around the Rim of the Volcano.
Well, they have the flaming volcano.
Yes.
Yeah, which is usually a drink for two, and I usually get two of those.
That's
two people are supposed to drink that?
Yeah, I know, right? I didn't know that either. It's like, why are you giving me two straws? This is stupid.
Throw this one out. I'm getting hammered. Anyway.
Is that the top right there in this picture?
This is it. That is as high as you can go.
That.
Yeah. That's really cool.
But at this point, like, honestly, that's just like you played the game. That's just getting the trophy, right? That's all it is. Like and the other scary thing to realize when you get right here, right? Like,
how are you feeling at that? I mean, you're all smiles and stuff, but how
can't even feel his feet right now.
Yeah, like how are you feeling physically at that point? Because what you described so far, it just sounds like you just took a beating. And I know that you got adrenaline going and stuff, and that amazing view inspires you and what you've accomplished. But at that point right there, like, what's your physical status?
I feel like a wet towel that's just been completely wrung out, because like I cried, but I don't know why. I didn't like, I laughed, like, and I was just like, this, like everything's just leaking. And
everything?
I don't know. It was cold. So
I wonder why we're so angry in Boston. That's us all winter. We're just, I don't know why I'm so upset.
Oh, that's pretty much it.
So yeah,
only there 10 minutes. 10 minutes is it.
If you made it to the top and didn't take that picture, can you imagine? Oh fuck, we got to go back up. I forgot
the picture.
I know, right? It's like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
And so
I left my camera up there, you guys.
It's in the car.
Anybody have a helicopter?
There was a moment though where you realize right here, right at this spot at the summit, you realize, oh shit, this is the halfway point.
I gotta go back down.
This is halfway.
I always forget going back down is the hardest part too, because you're just trying it's controlled falling.
That's right. Way harder. And there's a life
muscles hurt
there.
Twice as bad going down.
Yeah, no, right. So up is just muscle. If you get tired, just rest, just wait.
Yep.
But coming down is impact on your ankles, on your knees. You're tired and you're wobbly, and like that's where you get hurt. You don't get hurt going up unless you fall somewhere. But like if coming down, that's when I always worry about it.
And then how many people did you pass on the way down ask you how much further to the top?
We were the last group that day. So, we were the last up and the last down. So we didn't pass anybody, but a couple people passed us on their way back down, and they're like, you're almost there. And we're like, shut up. Whatever.
You're doing great.
I'm going to make it. Yeah, but it was just, what an experience though, to just realize that, how simple life got. You know what I mean? Like when you when you realize like you have what you need in your backpack. You got some water, you got some snacks, your rain gear. I had pictures of my family, of Chris, my brother-in-law, and you have what you need, and life just got so simple and broken down. And there's this accomplishment that I get to keep and take with me forever. That no matter what happens, I still get to keep that thing.
Yeah.
And that's really special.
That's really cool. And it's really cool. I mean, when you were up at the top, there's a reason you cried. You were thinking about Chris. You absolutely were like, like when you saw that moment, it's like, he's here with me. And then you get to the top, or you started crying because you're like, shit, now we do have to go back down.
Right.
It was all those added together. It just comes at you.
Everything. And you're like, it's coming out of every hole.
That was pretty much it. It was just this emotional thing. And we get down to the last camp. And it was, that night it had snowed. So the mountain was all white in the morning. Like we could see it from our last camp. And then we get back down to our hotel. It was about like early in the afternoon, the following day. And, you shower for the first time in like 8 days.
That's awesome.
Scrub that stuff off. And
12-hour shower.
Yeah. So the beers in the hotel were the 20-ounce bomber bottles, and they were Kilimanjaro beer. And they were $1, $1 each. And so,
I'll have 5.
Yeah, I'm like, here's a $20 bill. How many does that get me? And I think I lost count around 13.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd be drinking big time.
There was a lot of drinking.
Huge celebration. That's a huge celebration.
Yeah, and good reason. That's amazing. Well,
Right.
The book has tons of pictures, like the pictures you showed us, and there's a ton of pictures in the book. It's the Call of Kilimanjaro, and very different work from Jeff Belanger, who's usually investigating the paranormal or finding dead bodies somewhere, or whatever. But this is completely different experience from him. And it's a very personal story. This is just an adventure story. This is about like stripping it all down, like you said.
Yeah,
the
but
core.
it's a funny thing, writing. I've never written a memoir. This is my first, and so I feel like you just got to be. And it's so easy to get like pretentious or like make yourself into some hero, and I'm neither. Like it's just a guy that did a thing, and that was sort of the point. But also, I realizing like in the middle of our lives that need to still sort of shake it up, and Mike and I were talking about how like we're not going to play Major League Baseball we're not going to enter the league at this age.
Right.
We're not going to enter the NFL.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, opening day for the Red Sox is coming up. You're not going to be on the mound, Mike?
It's too late for me. It's
too late.
I got a bad shoulder for
But there's some people that are middle-aged that still haven't let go of that dream.
Well, did you see The Rookie with Dennis Quaid?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Right?
saw that. But the rest of them are just calling into sports talk radio. So
Well, Paul
Right.
Newman was playing for the Johnstown Chiefs. He was old. Come on.
Okay, there's 1 or 2. Let's be serious.
And their movies.
These 4 guys here, we ain't getting into the NFL or the NHL or the MLB or any.
I'll watch the shit out of it. I'm just not going to suit up.
Right.
I'm still holding out to be the emergency backup goalie one of these times.
You never know.
Hey, our buddy Andrew Raycroft is still in that position.
And I'm going to lock him in a closet, so they have to ask me.
But we can all climb a mountain.
We can.
Maybe.
Oh,
We totally can. Yeah. No,
Listen, I thought I was a superstar because I've done Mount Washington a couple of times, and you literally at the beginning of this said you ran up it. I'm like, I'm such a pussy. It took me 6 days to go up Mount. You're like, I'm just getting worked up for Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, you did Mount Washington?
Yeah, I did it a bunch as a kid. I did it once in my 20s, and it's a cool experience.
Now, did you do that in the Audi or the Mini Cooper?
Yeah.
No, I took a van.
Right. The cog rail.
Yeah,
right.
no, it was cool. And that's why I mentioned Chicora. We used to go up to Chicora, and again, it was just really, really cool. Nothing like this, but there's that moment of accomplishment when you get there, and you're like, God damn, I'm way up here.
Yeah.
So Mount Washington is a bummer because like, when you go up Chicora, right? Like you get up there and you get to see sights that you don't get to see any other way unless you got your butt up there.
Right.
Mount Washington, when you pull yourself up the last bit and a BMW drives by and a woman in a mini skirt and high heels gets out, I'm at the
And you're like,
top.
they're putting the sticker, this car climbed Mount Washington.
And you're like,
we had that experience when I was really young at Mount Wachusett, and so my father was a big time hiker. So we climbed Mount Wachusett. My mother is just miserable. She's had it. We get to the top, and she had no idea you could drive.
There's a parking lot at the top.
She had no idea you could drive. We get to there's cars up there. She said, we could have driven up here. Oh my God! And it was nonstop all the way down the mountain. I thought it was just going to be divorced by the time we got back to the parking lot.
That would also be a good book.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Yeah.
You literally, that book should be called "We Could Have Blank and Driven This."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now, Jeff,
You got to go
this is your 16th book, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question I have for you. I've always wanted to ask somebody like an accomplished author like yourself. You've written 16 books. That takes a lot of dedication to sit down and like make yourself write a book. I'm sure there's times like you're zoned out, but like for what I do, I try and do a lot of writing, and you're a married guy. How do you go somewhere else, or like how do you sit down and write a book without, can you run to Target and get and then you get distracted with going to Target, and then you come back home, and then it's just like 9 hours have gone by and you forgot to write?
So Josh, my writing advice to you is going to be eerily similar to parenting advice. You're about to have a baby, right?
Yeah, so I'm guessing the writing's going to do self.
Just wait. So when you have a newborn, like there's 2 ways to go. Keep the place perfectly silent when they're sleeping, or just run the vacuum, keep the TV on, get the kitchen noise and all that other stuff, and it will be normal for your child, and your child will sleep just fine. If you make silence normal, then it's going to need silence. And so realistically, the world we live in, your phone rings, you get text messages, you have to run to Target. So like you have to learn to write in that environment, because, you know, the Earl Grey tea and the cabin in the woods, like no one lives there. That's not the world I live in. Right. Like, so I got to squeeze it in. Right. And I've got, I mean, I'm working for Ghost Adventures, like those deadlines call because I got to pay my bills, you know? And so it's just like making time to exercise, making time for yourself, making time to write.
I'm just so bad at squeezing things in.
Yeah,
I'm just like, how do people do it? Like the other people have wives and kids and like other things during the day, and I'm like, how do they make time? Like my ADD is so bad that I don't know.
You just have to force it.
All right.
On your way to Target, you should do some writing on the way to Target. You know what you should do? You should get a
laptop in the car on the way to Target and just type on the passenger seat while you're driving.
Hey,
or
so
the
woman who wrote Harry Potter, right? She wrote it in a coffee house while she was like waiting for her kids at school and stuff, right? I mean, a busy coffee house where people are coming and going and placing orders, like that just became her environment. And J.K. Rowling and that book did all right.
Yeah.
All the families made a movie or two.
I think they did all right. So you got to go to jeffbelanger.com. You can not only see all the stuff he does with the various shows and all the books he's written, but this main one here now, The Call of Kilimanjaro, Finding Hope Above the Clouds. This is really cool, man. This is different than the scary Christmas shit we did before.
This is great stuff.
I know. Thank you guys for having me back. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
No, I mean, I get this is charity work because you're like, ooh, tell us weird, creepy stories. And I'm like, oh, come on.
No, this is
now I owe you. I owe you some creepy stories.
No.
This is amazing. This is
really, really cool.
It's real. It's not that ghosts aren't real. You know, I'm just saying this is a little more concrete. I mean, this is very tangible. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Jeff. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thanks so much.
Being on.
Go pick up the book.